The Finds recording guides can be found at www.finds.org.uk under the Counties tab. There is a link to all of the guides in the top right-hand corner of the Counties homepage. The Finds recording guides are technical guides intended for those who record objects onto the Portable Antiquities Scheme database, so staff, volunteers and self-recorders with the scheme. They provide detailed guidance on how to record different object types properly onto the database and are an extension of the general recording guide that is elsewhere on our website. We currently have 92 guides available and you can explore them in several ways. We'll start with the how-to and general guides. These guides are about the overall process of recording and using the database. They're pretty self-explanatory, but we'll take a quick look at each one. First, we have how to describe shape, form and decoration. It can be tricky to accurately describe an object in front of you. Choice of words is very important and you need to be consistent and precise. This guide takes you through the principles involved and then how to describe different 2D and 3D shapes and also how to describe the decoration accurately. Next, we have how to identify fabulous and mythical beasts. Fabulous beasts are found on many types of object, and whilst some are obvious, others are harder to identify, and some of them are just bizarre. This guide takes you through the main creatures you're likely to come across. Just remember, as well as identifying your beastie, you'll also need to fully describe it, especially if it's one of the weird ones. Next, we have how to record a coin. Numismatic items on the database have an extra data entry form that has to be completed. This guide provides some general top tips for recording coins. You can also follow the link at the top of this section to access the period-specific numismatic guides, which go into things in much more detail. Next, we have the guide to how to search the database, which basically does what it says on the tin. So it's helpful for when you want to find something, but it also helps you understand how people search for things so that you can make your records easier to find when you're recording them. Finally, we have the guide on how to write a description. The object description is one of the most important parts of a database record, but they can be tricky to write at first. This guide takes you through the process of writing a good description. Don't forget to check our YouTube channel for videos on searching and writing object descriptions too. As well as general guides, we also have guides related to specific object types. You can view all of them via the link shown here, where you'll find them listed alphabetically. Each guide is designed to provide more detail and information on identifying and recording specific object types. Every guide has the same general format. At the top is an introduction telling you some general information about the object type, such as what it is and what it was used for. Below that is what object type should be used. Then you have any classifications and subclassifications that might apply. Some object types have been well studied and have accepted classification systems, and these should be used where appropriate. Next is a general chronological discussion showing any changes in this object type through history. This can be quite detailed if the object is multi-period. Then there's a link to a database search for all examples of this object type, and finally a list of key reference works. Some guides are quite short, for example if an object was used only in one period, or if it's functionally quite straightforward. Others are much longer and more detailed, for example buckles or brooches, because they have a long history of use and there are many different types and classification systems involved. You'll also notice that some have 2001 guide written in brackets after them. These guides are still valid, but have not been updated from the original print versions which were created when the database was first created. However, they are still relevant and they contain enough information for you to be able to record the object properly. Finally, you can also explore the guides by use and function and by time periods. All of the guides have been tagged with historical periods and categories, so you can find guides for all objects related to clothing and personal items, for example, or all the guides relating to Bronze Age objects. And of course, guides may appear across multiple periods and categories. You can also use the search box at the top to search for a particular guide. New guides continue to be added and older ones are updated all the time. So the Finds Recording Guide section is where the most up-to-date guidance on recording objects will always be. So remember to keep checking back regularly for new and updated guides.